Alright guys, got a partner 3-minute round. The best of the best come down here and get better. This isn't exactly healthy. I came to Jackson's after I lost my title defense in the WC against Steve Cantwell. And before that fight, I had recently just gotten out of the Marine Corps, moved to Atlanta, started a new job, was training in 3 or 4 different gyms, and there was really no integration whatsoever.
I actually approached Brian Stan a couple years ago. I saw a lot of potential. He had just lost his a fight in the WEC, and I think he was pretty down, and I saw a lot of potential in his abilities.
I said, hey Brian, you know, I think there's some things I can help you with, specifically your rhythm when you fight. So why don't you come down and try it out? So I came down for a week.
Day one, just start working with him on a little bit of footwork, hitting those angles, just real boring, rudimentary stuff. He's looking at me funny.
I could still remember my first couple days. In fact, my first grappling session, I got tapped out 5 times in about 3 minutes by Joey Villasenor. Then moved on to Keith Jardine, got tapped out probably about the same amount. So I got beat up for an entire week, but at the end of the week, both Joey and Keith, who were our team captains, came up to me, put their hand on my shoulder and said, hey man, you belong here. And I felt like I belonged here. Here I get training partners from across the world that come in. I got Tom Watson from London, Dave Branch from Brooklyn, New York, young kid named Goyo from Mexico. They all stay here at the house. Everybody trains at Jackson's. Yeah, so last week, Dave was getting out of the car and he dropped his tooth outside, so it was emergency operation because it was nighttime, so we all got out there with flashlights, headlights.
Brian turned the car lights on and I found a tooth in like a pile of dirt.
Like most fighters. You know, most fighters lose teeth over the time of their career.
I can't wait to get my permanent one in, Brian. I'm telling you, man, this thing's a pain in the ass. Because I stepped on it, you know, and I broke it. So now it's like, it's in half, and now every time I say the F word, it flies right out of my mouth. I'm serious, man.
They wake up in Britain.
Here the fun begins, man.
What do you guys call jelly? Jam? When you guys have tea time over there. What do you guys call it? You know what
jam, yeah.
I don't think I was talking
Tea time.
The personality of a fighter is everything to me because if you have the most talent in the world but you're a jerk, I'm not going to train you, period. Once you get here, your personality and your fighting style are often, but not always, kind of intertwined. But what I try to do is look deeper in the personality for what I call utility, and that's like their preferences. Like, do they like to go forward? Do they like to... Even in your personality, you can see those things coming through sometimes. So while it's not always an indication of how they're going to fight, a lot of times personality can be a telling factor.
We all take pride in each other's success. We all take pride in each other's growth. You're not going to find that everywhere. You're not going to find a guy that at the end of a training session is going to tell you how he was beating you and why, and show you so he can't do it anymore. You know, you're not going to always find that. We're very competitive here, but we're also very helpful towards each other.
I'd say Brian's main strength is his mind. You know, he's a very strong person. You know, he's got great stand-up and great grappling, but I think his best aspects is his mental game. You know, he's a lot of confidence. He never gives up, and he's just got that attitude that's great for a fighter. You know.
Since he's come to Jackson, you can tell the difference of his, you know, his level of fighting has just skyrocketed.
Brian's looking pretty good. Gotta get his hands a little more.
He'll definitely do good in his next fight.
We really want to see how far he could go. That's my thing. If we can get all the way to title shots, which I believe he can, then that's what we're going to do.
Brian Stan, he's the All-American. He's that family guy that does all the right things, defended our country. He's the kind of guy you want your, I'd want my daughter to date, that type of guy. Not him, but that type of individual.
It's funny, you know, because you meet the guy, and if you don't really talk to him, he just looks like he's just a mean guy, you know, but he's actually mean as hell in the ring, but he's probably one of the most genuine and nicest guys I've ever met in my life.
He's one of the few on the team that has a real full-time job as well as fighting. those are the kind of fighters you got to worry about, because they're doing it really for the sole purpose that they love it.
You notice that? That's the thing that kills us the most. Like, the people that believe in us the least are usually ourselves. You ever notice that? Like, everybody else will look at us like, man, that guy is really good. And inside our own head, we're like, man, we really suck.
When you come down to Greg Jackson's gym, you see 2 Olympic champions, you see world champions, you see national champions, and not only that, you see guys that haven't won anything yet, that are developing and trying to win and get better. The hunger is there, and if these guys don't stay on top, these younger guys are gonna come take them out.
Oh, reshot stand, you, yes! Yes!